Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. It's Wednesday. It's Flash time. I'm here to give you my review for Season 9, Episode 3 of The Flash, also titled Rogues of War. And the main thing here is that Barry and Team Flash, they figure out that these new rogues are going to need this device, which I didn't write down what the name was, but the device will help the rogues build. Hold on a minute. Sorry. The device will help the new rogues build a cosmic treadmill. So Barry has to put together his own team of rogues to help get this thing from the DoD. Yeah. So that's what the whole premise is. And yeah, we get some reveals in this episode. Well, one big reveal at the end, but yes. One thing I want to complain about, there's just too much filler in the episode. There's just too much stuff in the episode. I've noticed this. This is the third episode in a row now. There is so much that, oh hey, we have to do this. But no, we are going to spread out by having people argue, having someone say no, well, like the whole premise is that Barry puts together this team of rogues, right? Cool. Most of this episode is talking. Because he goes to each location and talks to each of them. And then what do? They go back to Star Labs and they talk. And then they decide, hey, fuck you, we're not going to do this, but you're going to do it ourselves. They leave. And so how does Barry come up with the idea to work with them again? He talks to Iris. It's just talk. We do. And when we get to the end of this episode, when it looks like we're finally going to have the Flash's rogues versus the other rogues, which, by the way, now include Jill Blaine, because he turned on them. Red Death comes in, swoops, takes them away, and comes in, swoops, knocks them out, takes their rogues away, and that's it. What? We want to see what? We see individual fight scenes, but we want to see. Hopefully, we get something in the next coming episodes. Like these next two episodes are, I think, are the last two parts of the Red Death arc. So hopefully, we get something, because that was very douchebaggy of the writers. Just to, let's set up. We're gonna have this fight. Nope. They all get knocked down, and no. And for the love of God, can you please just have Chester and Allegra get together already? This will they, won't they shit is more annoying than Ross and Rachel from Friends. It's just annoying. Nobody actually cares about this. So your whole planting the seeds of will they, won't they get together, no one cares. Just have them be together and get it over with. I'm sick of it. All right? And look, Keone is supposed to be something, but she doesn't do anything in this episode. But yeah, can you make her less stupid? Because her character seems very stupid. I know she's new to this world. I know that she doesn't know much about this world, because the whole thing was that her memory was erased. Yes, but there's one thing, erasing memory and erasing common sense. There's difference in that. And she's basically just a child who needs to be told how things work, I guess. I don't know. When you start out this episode with the rogues and the new inclusion of Murmur, who is a female, nothing against that. I just didn't realize from the set photos, the pictures, what do you call them? Promo pictures, that it was a female until they said it. I'm like, what? And because they're like deaf and they only speak in sign language, you don't really know. But if you watch them walk, it's female form, so that works. But the other Murmur was a he, so I don't know. There's a female Murmur now. Apparently, look, I don't like the fact that these new people come in and like, oh yeah, it's this person. No, they shouldn't know who these people are. They shouldn't know this new murmur. They didn't know who the Boomerang was. They just accepted he was there. And they didn't know who she was, who the new fiddler was, until later. Now apparently they know who she is. But here they're like, oh yeah, the new murmur we've been tracking. No, this new murmur was not mentioned before now. And yet they already know. I mean, Cisco did that whole thing with the book back in season 6 when Crisis went off. But I don't know. Them just already knowing about this murmur, it's going, well, we don't have time to explain who this is, so they just already know who she is. Anyway, we get Captain Kramer here for a little bit. She has this short little snippet. We also get some Iris stuff. How, Barry, they're going around. We start actually in Paris, France. I was confused at first. Like, to make a creme brulee that is absolutely perfect, we find out that they cheated. They cheated by using flash time to do it over 100 times. So, maybe more than 100 times. But, yeah, they cheated. But, he's the Flash. So, what are you going to do, right? So then, yeah. And the whole thing, because they steal this device, which I was confused at first, because you have the rogues stealing something. Wait, they had everything they needed. Well, as explained, they're trying to build a cosmic treadmill for something. And there is a good question asked later when they find out that this is the speedster. They're like, why does the speedster need the treadmill to travel through time? We're going to figure out something. Chester also traces the tech that they're using to Gotham City. Apparently they're all Wayne tech, but right now they're prototypes. This is not, going on. And we find out later in the episode that Ryan Wilder has gone missing. I couldn't really care less. I could care less about Ryan Wilder, to be honest. But, also they shouldn't know who she is. They haven't met her yet. But, yeah, sure. But they shouldn't know who she is. They have not met her yet, as far as we know. And I swear to God, they're like, oh yeah, we hung out plenty of times, off screen. No, you can't do that. Because to the people who have watched The Flash, they have not met her yet. And if you go, well, I'm Scotty Ashley in Armageddon, that was an alternate future that no longer exists, and therefore you can't count that. They have not met Ryan Wilder yet, and yet they know about her. I'm assuming that he would know about her. Although, I will say this. Due to some dialogue during Armageddon between Barry and Jefferson Pierce, Black Lightning, we can sort of conclude that there's something, like, stuff has happened. Like, because they created injustice protocols, and then he mentions that something went wrong with someone else. Was that in a comic book or something? A connection to the comic? I don't know. Because we never saw anything. So it was very weird. So maybe some stuff did happen just off screen. Sure. But I don't know. I would like to separate comics and the TV shows. Which is why, the whole thing with Marvel TV shows and the movies where it's now required, hey, you have to watch these TV shows to understand what's going on. Like, you have to watch WandaVision to know what happened, to know what's going on in Multiverse of Madness. You have to watch Loki to know what's going on in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You have to know you have to have watched Ms. Marvel to know what's going on in the Marvels. You have to have watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier to know what's going on in Captain America: New World Order. You have to do that. And they're talking about cut down those. I say, get rid of them all. People give me the laugh emoji in my Facebook group, but just get rid of them all and stick to the movies, okay? It's easier to do for people who don't have Disney Plus or don't want to have to watch every single TV show, because a lot of the TV shows have been misses. They're hits and misses. They're not exactly all hits. And some people watch a couple episodes and go, oh, no, I don't want to watch this. And then when they go to watch a movie, they're confused because they haven't watched it. And I'm going off on a tangent that has nothing to do with The Flash. But I'm just saying, separate the mediums. Okay? So if something happened in comics linked to this, and we, as people who only watch the TV show, don't know about it, doesn't really seem fair. Right? But, so, Barry decides that Team Flash can't handle this, so he has to get his own rogues. They briefly bring up, like, why can't they call other friends, allies, whatever, and he says they don't have time. Really? You don't have time to call Supergirl or Superman, who are very fast and can get there. You don't have time to call Jefferson Pierce, who could, like, burst in with lightning, right? You don't have time to... I mean, the Legends are still probably locked up, but... You don't have time to call your super-powered friends. Two of them are super fast. The other one is probably as fast as lightning. That's three of them that could help. But no, because they need specific. They need someone who can cool down a thermal thing, so they can heat a frozen thing, and whatever Goldface can do. And then there's Harley. And there's Harley's. He goes to talk to Harley about, who would need the Hartley? Rathaway. Hartley. He goes to talk to Hartley, and he's like, well, you need this device, making a cosmic treadmill, whatever. It's all temporal. And so, yeah, he's in on it already. And then they go to talk to Mark Chilblain, and he's like, no, fuck off. I hate both of you because you destroyed the machine to bring Frost, and you won't let me bring Frost back. So then he helps. You get Jacko. They say different names every time to say his name. The Hotness. He's right on. And then it's Goldface. And Hartley, talks to him, and they join forces, and then of course they do the thing where, no, we're not going to work with you because Barry doesn't trust them. So, like, the whole moral of the story is Barry needs to trust these criminals. Hartley, yes. Jaco, yes. Mark, maybe. Goldface, no. Because they all start arguing over who's going to get the device. And Barry's like, okay, we'll give it to Hartley. And I'm sitting there going, because I called it. I'm like, what's the point of arguing over who's going to get it? As viewers, we know, I said, I already know that as soon as they get a hold of it, something's going to happen, and it's going to be taken from them. Sure as shit. Because they get in there, they do the thing, and they get the device. But Mark betrays them, because, I guess, this makes no sense in the context of the conversation he has with Barry and Hartley, because apparently Red Death showed up and made an offer to him he couldn't refuse before they showed up. So why does he decline the offer? To make it seem real? I guess. I don't know. But yeah, he's part of the evil rogues for some reason. Like, I was all on board making John Core a regular because Mark should be a part of the team. I don't like what they're doing with Mark. He shouldn't be at odds with Team Flash. To be honest, I feel like they kind of ruined with his character a little bit. With what they were not ruined, but kind of messed up his character a little bit with the whole thing. Like, after it didn't work and we got Keone, he should have said, okay, this was never going to work, and just forgot about it. We have this one now. But no, he's got to be very persistent, because the whole reason why he's doing this, teaming with Red Death, which you can thank Goldface for the name they're going to call them them now is because, okay, it's a she. I can't call her now is Red Death because he quotes this Edgar Allan Poe or something like that. And yeah, and so it's going to be called the Red Death. And they agreed that if the Flash should need their help, call on them because they're not regulars, so they can't be in every episode. So yeah, but I guess they're most likely show up in episode 5. I'm guessing. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, Mark turns on them, and the other rogues show up. Something between Jaco and the Fiddler flirting. I don't know, they're like the same band. They're like Ice Nine Kills, I think it was. Okay, but he has the Lips shirt, which is a fictional band, I think. But now here we got a real band. Ice Nine Kills is a real band. But, yeah. And then that happens, and then they go outside. Like I said, we get the setup like, okay, these rogues are going to fix those rogues. And then Red Death comes in and knocks them out, takes some of Barry's speed, which implies that this is well, not implies, but is theorized by Barry and Iris that this could be the new Negative Speed Force. What you call it? Nah, I don't think it is. I think it just connected to the Negative Speed Force because we saw the blue crystal. It's going to be cobalt blue, and based on what I've seen with behind the scenes pictures, we're heading towards something of that variety. I'm not 100% sure, but yes. And then this is where we get the setup for the Ryan Wilder stuff because got Bat on the chest, which if you know, Red Death is in the comics, and I already kind of mentioned this. I'm trying to keep it a secret, but I already mentioned this. Why I'm against this. You know, I voiced my disdain for Batwoman after season 1, and I felt like they should have just recast Kate Kane or canceled the show. Because I didn't like the fact that they just brought in this new character, and as much as you can go off on me, they did it to make money off the African American people, the community. Because, hey, we already have a lesbian main character, so let's have a lesbian African American character. That way we can make money off 2 different communities. That's exactly why they did it. That's why you'll see announcements for movies and TV shows. We're going to have an African American lead or a Latino lead because they want to make money off of it. And I wouldn't be complaining if they didn't market that. If they just said, oh, hey, here, we got a new show. And, like, show that All-American and its spinoff, I don't mind. Because it's got a mainly African-American cast, and that's fine. But they don't tout it that. Hey, look at our show with an all-American cast. Watch our shit. Give us money. No, it's just, and, the National Treasure show was good. But Batwoman, that wasn't all that it did. It wasn't the whole quote-unquote wokeness. I don't think that's what it was. I just not only trying to make money off of that, but my biggest problem is that the entire show was based around the character of Kate Kane. And in your attempt to make money off of something else, you threw that character to the sharks. And all of the development with that character is thrown away for a new character we now have to acquaint ourselves with because you want to make money off of communities. Because you want to just go in a different direction for money. And now all the character development of Kate Kane is thrown out the window. And I know what they did with Kate Kane in season 2. It was like Hush's sister or something, and which means they recast her anyway, and the actress would have been fine as the new Kate Kane. But no. And the biggest middle finger to this is that they recast Jonathan Kent on Superman and Lois. They just recast him. They didn't bring in a new character to replace him. They recast him because it was the right thing to do. They should have just recast Kate Kane. But I'm getting ahead of myself here because, yes, we get the the news that Ryan Wilder has gone missing, and then we cut to the Red Death hideout where, once again, the only thing that Mark talked about is bring back Killer Frost, bring back Frost. And he's like, well, I need more trust. I need to know who you are. So take the helmet off, and it's Ryan Wilder. But to kind of mix it, to kind of sort out the confusion, it's not our Ryan Wilder. At least I hope not. I think that it's going to be revealed that our Ryan Wilder was kidnapped for some reason. Because Jessica Leslie, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry, is playing both versions, both characters, reportedly. Well, both Batwoman and Red Death. So, they cannot be the same version. Rumors have it, and just take it with a grain of salt, that it's and this is just rumors, that it could be the speculation. It's not real stuff. It's just, an idea. That it could be the Ryan Wilder from Armageddon, which, kind of throws a cork in my, who cares about these characters in Armageddon, because it's a time that doesn't exist anymore, and if they were set in this, sure, but I don't know. Last week, Red Death said the Flash screwed her over, or something to that effect, but I don't know. Again, that's our little post-credit. Joe wasn't in this episode, but they don't explain where he is. He's just not there. I don't think Cecile was in this episode either, was she? I don't know. Never explained where they are. But anyway, this episode was fine. I'm sick of, hey, let's do this, and then there's just constant talking for most of the episode. This is the final of the season. You should be going full speed ahead with action and stuff, and I know that CGI costs money. I know that there's still code protocols where you can't have a lot of movement and fighting and stuff, but when they set up that you had the Flash's rogues and the other rogues, yeah, let's do this, and then just, I'm like, come on. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Don't have Red Death come in here and ruin it. And sure enough, I called it twice in this episode, two things. That as soon as they got the device, it was going to be taken from them, and then that Red Death was going to spoil the fight. I was right, because I've been watching this show for 9 fucking years, and there's a pattern to this. That, every time they spend an entire episode's worth trying to get this thing, as soon as they get it, it's taken away from them by the bad guy. It happened with DeVoe, it happened with Cicada. Every time they're trying to get something, it's taken from them, so it's obvious what's going to happen, but this episode was fine. I thought it was better than last week's, but, So what are your thoughts on episode 3, season 9 of The Flash? Let me know in the comments. Let me share, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.